Chill family. Today we're going to talk about the James Pearce Jr. update that we received from the NFL. But before we get into the video, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, share, tell a friend, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys never miss an episode of the Chill Report, because you guys know that we are live every single weekday to talk about the latest in sports. So make sure you guys do all those things. And with that being said, let's get into the video, man. Let's get it. So, the NFL officially suspended Atlanta Falcons edge rusher James Pearce Jr. for the first 8 games of the 2026 regular season for violating the league's personal conduct policy. The discipline stems from a high-profile domestic dispute and arrest that occurred during the offseason. Now, if you guys don't know, in February of 2026, Pearce was arrested near Miami in Doral, Florida, following a violent domestic incident involving his ex-girlfriend, Los Angeles Sparks WNBA forward Rickea Jackson. He originally was hit with 3 felony counts, including aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, fleeing and eluding police officers, and resisting an officer with violence. Those charges were eventually brought down to a case of him entering into a pre-trial intervention agreement, if he completes all the court strict guidelines and requirements. The criminal charges are expected to formally be dismissed. But as of right now, the update that we do have, he is suspended for the first 8 games of the season. Now, head coach of the Falcons, Kevin Stefanski, did say that he will play all of preseason because he will be out into November. Until at least the earliest day he can be reinstated is Monday, November 2nd, 2026. And with that being the case, he will play all of preseason, or a lot of preseason, per head coach of the Falcons, Kevin Stefanski. He did play in the Falcons preseason game on Friday. He managed to have 2 tackles in that game. So, first off, let me say that the Chill Report is not an advocate of domestic violence at all. Neither am I, neither is Chill, neither is the Chill Report, neither is C Journey, any of that. We're not an advocate of domestic violence at all. So first, let's get that out there. Second, I want to say that I feel like this was a very use the right word here. This was a very, well, number one, it was an expected outcome, because obviously we knew that he was going to be punished due to what he did. Like I said, in the offseason, I just read it to you guys and explained everything. So, I knew he was going to be punished and, given his rightful punishment for doing what he did. And I think he should look at this situation as being very fortunate. I think his camp should look at this situation as being very fortunate. I look at any situation where it's a thing of like what I just read to you guys, or it's a situation of domestic violence, or whatever goes on outside the lines, whatever happens outside the lines, I feel like you should be very fortunate if you're still able to play NFL football, because it's a lot of people that didn't get that chance. It's a lot of people that messed up once and that was it. It's a lot of people that slipped once and that was it. And I'm not saying it's right because they slipped, and I'm not saying it's right, that they slipped and they were out of the league and you still have a chance to play. I'm not saying that they were right either, but I'm just saying that, he should look at this situation as being very fortunate that he's still able to achieve his lifehood dream as far as being able to play NFL football, because a lot of people weren't given that chance. A lot of people, like I said, one chance and you're done. A lot of people don't get second chances. So for God to bless him with a second opportunity and a second chance to make it right, listen, please, I advise you to do everything possible. You go to all lengths, if you will. You guys know I'm a big advocate for mental health. I talk about mental health a lot on this on the Chill Report. Not saying that that he has mental issues, or not. Trying to indicate that he might have mental issues, because you guys know Chill is no counselor or no mental health specialist at all. But I will say, if you do feel, and this is the message to James Pearce Jr., if you do feel like there's issues there, if you do feel like you need to figure out a better way to handle things, a better way to go about things, if you feel like that, that you with significant others, as far as women and dating women, if you feel like that you find yourself getting angry and not being able to control it, I would, number one, advise you that maybe you should take some time away. from women in general, and just kind of focus on yourself and focus on your career. You have a huge opportunity that you still have in front of you. Yeah, you're going to be suspended for 8 games, but after that, you still get to play NFL football. And for this preseason, you still get to play NFL football. And the most important part is you're still in the NFL. They didn't give you a lifetime ban, or you're not out of the NFL, completely. You're, blacklisted or anything like that. So consider that a blessing, and count it all joy. That you still have an opportunity to play NFL football, learn from your mistakes. And like I said, if you feel like that you need some issues to work, you need, to talk some things out and work on some things. Look, ain't no wrong. Go get some counseling. Go get help. Go talk to a therapist. Go talk to a counselor. And like I said, if that involves you, taking some time away from women, if that involves you, just kind of focusing on your career and just kind of focusing on your, career and family and friends and, just kind of leaving women out of it, then so be it. But the one thing you don't need to do is put yourself in a situation like you did this past off season, because I'm going to tell you now, you're not going to get too many more passes, because of those things, because, you got to pass this time, but I'm telling you now, you're not going to get too many more of them. You are under a heavy microscope now. If you listen anytime, and this isn't anything that we do, I don't care if you are, a construction worker, musician, artist, whatever, executive, whatever it is you do. I look at it like this. No matter what it is you do, you are going to audition every single day. No matter what it is you do. It could be whatever it is you are in, whatever field you're in right now. It may not feel like it to you. You may not look at it like that. But the way I look at it personally is you are auditioning for that position, for that role, for that job every single day. Every single day. Every time you run out on the NFL field, you're auditioning for your job. Every time if you're a construction worker or you're an architect, every time you build, you come up with a new blueprint, or you get a new project, or you get assigned a new project to work on. If every time you go to work, every time you go onto that construction site, or you start making that blueprint, or you start thinking of ideas, every time you start putting those things on paper, getting ready for that project that you have coming up, getting ready to bring those ideas to the table, every single time you do that, every day you go to work, every day you start working on that project, you are auditioning for your job. No matter what, every single day. So you are under a microscope regardless. So now, James Pearce Jr., you already were under the microscope. Okay, you already were under the microscope. When you got drafted, when you stepped on the NFL field, when you stepped on the football field in general, to a point where, from high school on, you were under a microscope, okay? But now, you made it to the pro level, okay? Now you're under a microscope once again, and the microscope ain't going to shut off or stop no time soon. But what it did do is it got even more detailed. So even the littlest slip, the smallest slip up, the smallest mistakes, understand it will be brought to the forefront, and rightfully so, because you have put yourself in a position. And I'm not saying that, you're just, you're just a person that just does awful things and you're just a terrible person. And I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is you have put yourself in a position, because you did that, nobody else. You have put yourself in a position to where now you are going to be under a microscope even more than the average person would be, than the average player would be. The player standing next to you is not under the microscope you are, because see, yeah, they're under the microscope. If they do something, they're wrong, but they're not under the microscope because they haven't done anything. You have done something to the point of where they have reasoning to really pay attention to you. So now you're under a heavier microscope than you were before. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know now, if you have anything you need to fix, listen, this is a great time to do so, because you're going to have 8 games to where you're just sitting at home. I don't know how that's going to work, as far as I'm pretty sure he's going to still be able to practice. I would assume. I assume he's still going to be able to practice, still going to be able to be around the team. But you're going to have 8 games, 8 weeks of where you're just going to be pretty much practicing, working out, sitting at home, because that's all you able to do right now. So you're gonna have 8 weeks of doing that. This is the perfect time. If you need to, go talk to a counselor, go talk to a therapist, learn, if you need to, learn how to handle, the pressure of being an NFL player. uh, Go talk to other NFL players about handling the pressure of it. Go talk to the people you need to talk to. Go get your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and just see what it is about you. See how you can better improve yourself, because it ain't even about football. Bump football at the end of the day. I know that sounds a little harsh, but I'm just being real with y'all. Bump football, bump your profession at the end of the day. You have to go home and live with you every single day. Whether you work that job, make that money, do whatever, you have to go home and be with yourself every single day until you're no longer on this earth anymore. We have to live with ourselves every single day. And it ain't no escape from that. You cannot escape yourself. You can't do it. You cannot escape yourself. So I'm saying get right. I'm saying talk to who you need to talk to if you need to. I'm saying go get the help you need if you need it. I'm saying go talk to a therapist if you need it, a counselor if you need it. Take some more time off if you need it. I'm saying do that to make sure that you're good. Yeah, the NFL stuff, but bump that at the end of the day, because you got to live with James Pearce Jr. every day. You have to live with yourself you got to look yourself in the mirror every single day, live with yourself, and be okay with who you are. And if you feel like that you're not that at this point in time, then, like I said, I know it sounds harsh, but bump football, bump the Falcons, bump all that. Focus on yourself, bro, and get yourself back right to where you need to be. Because I'm going to tell you now, whether you on the team, off the team, mentally good, mentally not good, unstable, stable, whatever it is, I can guarantee you one thing, and I can take this to the bank. I guarantee you the Falcons still going to be playing NFL games, and I guarantee you the NFL still going to be playing NFL games, and it's still going to be the billion-dollar corporation that it is, and it's going to flow on like ain't nothing happened, and they won't even miss you out there, I'm telling you. Because there's going to be a million other defensive players in the draft next year, and there's going to be a million other players in the draft next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, and I promise you, once you done playing this game, your legacy may have put you in a position to be remembered in this game as being a great player, but I can guarantee you this, the game ain't stopping, neither is the business stopping for nobody. I can tell you that right now. Nobody. Think about all them Hall of Famers that we have. You know what I'm saying? All them Hall of Famers that we honor and that are in Canton, Ohio, and being in the NFL Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And we acknowledge them, and we appreciate them for everything they brought to this sport and everything they, the sportsmanship they showed, and the great play that they allowed us to just witness, and that the great mindsets that they brought to the game, and their mentality and all of that. And it's great and it's wonderful and it's amazing, and we honor them for it. But I guarantee you one thing, where all them NFL Hall of Famers are, I guarantee you every single team that they played on, I guarantee you that team's still playing. When they retired, the game didn't stop, did it? Not at all. I love Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player of all time, and some people's greatest player of all time, and I can't argue with it. And I love Lawrence Taylor. I love Lawrence Taylor. That's my guy. As far as just being a player on the NFL field, that's my guy. But the Giants still kept playing NFL games after Lawrence Taylor retired. So I understand that you had 10.5 sacks last year. I get that, but if you ain't mentally right, bro, them 10.5 sacks gonna be forgotten in a couple years, and you will too, because guess what? If you ain't right, the Falcons gonna sign somebody else or draft somebody else, and you gonna be, no offense, but they gonna be like, all right, we had him, we released him, whatever, and life goes on for them. But you have to live with yourself every single day. So take the proper precautions to make sure that you're right, you're mentally okay before stepping back out on that field and getting back into the mental grind, the mental rhythm of being an NFL player. Because you got to live with yourself, bro. You got to do it. You have to live with yourself. So I just encourage you to just get the help you need, get the proper things you need to get taken care of. Like I said, as far as just getting back to, where you're mentally clear, mentally good, mentally, 100%. Because I don't know. I don't know you well enough to know you personally, so I don't know if that's the person that you are. As far as putting your hands on women, I don't know that. I don't know you that personally to know that or not. But I will make an educated guess. I will say that I think that you can be better than that. I will say that. I think you can be much better than that, than putting your hands on women and getting yourself in a situation like that. I think that you can be a great person on and off the field. I'm talking in between the lines and outside the lines. I think you can be a great person. Just make an educated guess. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I think. I think you can be a great person inside the lines and outside of them. I think you just need to make sure that you're properly ready for the pressure of being an NFL player, and that you're properly ready for all the pressure that you're going to face outside of the lines as well. I applaud the NFL for, punishing you like you should have been. You should have been punished. Let's acknowledge that you should have been punished, and rightfully so. Be glad that you're not out of the NFL for good, because like I said, a lot of people weren't given a second chance when they were put in these situations. When they got themselves into these situations, they weren't given a second chance, but you were. So thank God for that, and just use this time to learn from your mistakes and take this opportunity and just run with it, man. Take this opportunity to be like, okay, I messed up. Let's acknowledge that I messed up, but I dealt with that situation, and I put my best foot forward, and I just start working on me and being the best person that I could be, me personally, and also the best player that I could be. Giving the Falcons the best player that I can be, and giving myself, because I owe it to myself, to be the best person that I can be outside the lines. And guess what? You know who that also help? You know who that also make feel better about down the line giving you a big contract, giving you some more money? The Atlanta Falcons organization. Because guess what? It says a lot, and it means a lot. And I don't know if the people in the Falcons organization would say this, but I can tell you this. Honestly. It means a lot when a player slips, or anybody. Let's be real. Anybody slips, that's going to happen because we're human. Everybody slips. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody has flaws. And for anybody that says they don't, well, you know what they full of. But anyway, everyone slips, has flaws, make mistakes, whatever. We're human, okay? But it means a different thing, a different kind of resilience, if you will. To slip, get back up, get back up, and push on to trying and achieve to be the best version of yourself that you can be, to where you look back on the version of you that slipped and like, I know I slipped, but I know I'm nowhere near that person that I used to be. That means a lot. And that'll mean a lot for the Falcons to be like, you know what? He's nowhere near that person he used to be. He's done this in his NFL career. He's done this community service and been this advocate for domestic violence ever since he had his situation. And he's helped other people that have struggled with having, mental health issues and dealing with the pressure of being in the NFL. He's done this for he's done this for, people that are in domestic violence situations. He's done this for speaking out against people who make mistakes and slip and everything. So let's reciprocate that energy and give him and show him that we appreciate the fact of how much he's changed, how much he's improved. Let's give him a big contract extension. That's how it could potentially pay off with you becoming the best version of yourself. Not only will you be proud of you, not only will your family be proud of you, and you'll see the difference. And trust me, you'll see the difference in yourself as far as you not having to worry about this kind of stuff ever again. Because you're not putting yourself in a situation where you have to worry about this stuff ever again. So not only will you feel the difference, you feel the improvement, you recognize how better you are in yourself, but also you don't think the organization is going to realize that The people around you gonna realize that, how much you change, how much you, and it don't gotta be no, as far as where you change, as far as not hanging around, your family and nothing like that, but as far as changing, as far as how you approach things, how you deal with things, how you go about things, how you deal with high pressure situations, or a situation, with a future or hypothetical woman in the future. How you deal with those things, people will appreciate the fact of how you slipped once, but from that point on, you made it an effort. You tried and did make it a point to where you would not get yourself in that situation ever again. People will recognize that and will appreciate you, and will appreciate you for that, for making that switch, making that change, and making that improvement. So, get the help you need, man. Like I said, football is second, and sports is second. The Falcons are second. You are first. So, deal with this punishment. You, rightfully so, you deserve this punishment, and they rightfully so handed you the punishment. But look at what you have to look forward to, man. You're still in the NFL. You were one of the AP NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year finalists. Had 10.5 sacks this year, or last year. You still get to play preseason football. So you still get to play football. You still in the NFL, so you still get to play football for a living. Still make a lot of money. Still have a second opportunity to be better. So take that opportunity, take this chance, and just realize the opportunity that you've been blessed with. And take this time to focus and commit to yourself. And I'm sure you probably already have, but just take this time, even if you haven't, take this time to commit to yourself that you will be the best version of yourself that you can be moving forward. That's all we can ask for from you, to be the best version of yourself that you can be moving forward. Because we can't, the past is the past. We can't fix nothing that happened in the past. Once you spill the milk, it ain't nothing you can do. Only thing we can do is clean it up. That's all we can do. Ain't nothing, we can't put it back in the jug. It ain't nothing we can do. It's done. It's done. It happened. It's over. The past is the past. It is what it is. Only thing we can do and control is the present and how we gonna be in the future. That's the only thing we can control. The present and how we gonna be in the future. That's it. So that's all we can focus on. Just be the best version of yourself that you can be from here on out. And, and that's all we can do. And if you do that and achieve that, I give you props. And I give props to you. And real quick, like I said, not an advocate for domestic violence at all. Neither the Chill Report or C Journey. But, and I want to, recognize, Rakia Jackson, the victim, if you will. I want to recognize that and, respect her in this situation as well. And respect her, her hurt, her pain, her, her situation here. Let's respect her and let's respect that. And I want to say that I acknowledge her, like I said, her pain, her situation, her hurt in this situation, and the toll that it probably took on her in this situation. I want to recognize that, and just say that I wish the best for her and her future, moves as far as her getting her life back on track and getting everything back, how it needs to be in her life. And I wish her the best as well. But on the topic of James Pearce Jr., like we're talking about today, just be the best version of yourself that we can be. That's all we can do, man. Be the best version of yourself that you can be from now on. So, rightfully so. I want to give props to the NFL for, I feel like, punishing him and giving him a good punishment. And like I said, just be grateful, man, because you could have been out of the NFL right there. Some people don't get a second chance. So just recognize that and realize how blessed you are in this situation. So, yeah, y'all let me know what y'all thought about it in the comments below. But with that being said, man, your boy Chill is out, man. Peace.